My name is Shaina, and welcome to the San Francisco Disability Cultural Center's first Dungeons and Dragons night. We have a fun and wild evening planned for all of you today, but before we begin, I would love to give some access reminders. So, this event is set up similarly to a Dungeons and Dragons show that you would watch online, where we have a set team of players. And you, our audience, are going to be watching and supporting us along the way. So feel free to chime in the chat and use the emojis to show support and really help get us across the finish line. We will also be using the chat for this event. So if this poses a hurdle for you, you can go to video settings, select accessibility, and then unclick the boxes for public in-meeting chat has been received. We will be reading key points in the chat throughout the program. For tech support, you can message me. My name is not Seska, but in this virtual Zoom meeting, it is Seska. So you can message me in this virtual space, or you can email us at access@disabilityculturalcenter.org. So with that, I would love to hand it off to our amazing DM tonight, Claudia.
Hello, thank you so much for having me here. My name is Claudia. It is a pleasure to be DMing this first ever, this inaugural Dungeons and Dragons game with the Disability Culture Center. For our audience members who are like, what is D&D? This is TTRPG. That is an acronym that stands for Tabletop Role-Playing Games, and basically we're doing a group storytelling project. As the dungeon master, I'm going to be voicing and narrating some of the environments and other characters. And then we've got some amazing players. So the first thing we want to do is what we like to call session zero actions. Sometimes you have a game that will last for years. And that first round of the game, the first time you meet, you're just talking about access needs. What are things you're comfortable with in gameplay? What are different communications? And that's how you start to build community. So we just like to take the first 10 minutes to allow people to introduce themselves, maybe say a little bit about this specific game that we're playing in terms of accessibility. And I will model to start off with. And I'm also going to invite you to share your access needs. So my name is Claudia Alick. I'm DMing. And I've been playing D&D since I was in high school. Because I'm a disabled person, I'm often the one player that's in a computer. And it's only been in the last 5 years that other people have been able to really join me well through computers, and that's been amazing. I so and this is exciting for me, but it's also a challenge where I've got a lot of screens around me, and I also have my physical DM screen. But I'm excited about figuring out how to make this not only a cool story with disabled characters, but also as accessible as possible for all of us. So that's my intro. I modeled it, I did it, and all of my access needs are met at this time. I would like to invite, I'm going to actually call on somebody. I don't normally call on people, but I'm going to call on Rye, who is playing Deloise, to introduce themselves.
Hi everyone. I'm Ryan. My pronouns are they, them. Yes, tonight I will be playing Deloise the Ranger. And I'm very excited to be here. Currently all my access needs are met. I have water, and so I'm ready to go and play some D&D. Oh, I have to call on somebody?
I think I'm going to do it only because it's hard to see where the squares are. So I Tizarine. If you could introduce yourself, Jennifer or Jen.
Hello. Um, my my name is Jen Kretchmer. I am an actor, a producer, and most relevant to what we're doing today, I work professionally as a game designer, and worked on several books for Dungeons and Dragons, including the new Dungeon Master's Guide, and then several other games. Um, and tonight I am playing Tizarine, who is an Azamar bard, College of Glamour. Uh, and my access needs are I tend to need a break about an hour and a half, 2 hours in, to stand up and move around. Um, but other than that, I'm in good shape. But similarly to Claudia, I've been playing remotely for a long time, and I've been playing D&D for a long time. And it's nice that the world has been catching up to more accessible forms of play.
Um, Immediately forgot I was calling on people. Seska, please go right ahead.
Hello, everybody. Again, I am Shaina. Normally, I am behind the scenes, but this time I am also playing the game, which I'm really excited. I've played Dungeons and Dragons once, but it was many years ago. However, I have played Baldur's Gate 3. I am on my second playthrough of that and absolutely love it. I am wearing a shirt that my brother got me because I have very good luck with dice. That is that's satire. Yeah, that's sarcasm. It says things can always get worse. And there's a 2 on a D20. So yeah, I don't have much luck with D20, but I'm happy to be surrounded by amazing players and all of you today who are supporting. So we'll see what trouble we get into tonight.
All right, so session zero style, we've all introduced ourselves a little bit. Um, I'm wondering, is there like a hand signal we would like to give each other to indicate I'm in character or I'm out of character?
Maybe we can say like this is Shaina speaking when I'm not in character. Is that fine?
I think that's totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that works. I like it.
I've
I'm like,
also
I make
seen
gestures with my
hand
hands.
on head
Oh.
like that.
I tend to do hand below chin only because I find it challenging to put my arm all the way over my head.
Okay, I
And
rest my hand on my chin a lot for
yeah,
stability.
but I like this. Let's not do a hand signal. Let's just use our words.
Okay.
So we'll just use our words to be like, hey, this is I'm out of character. Blah 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 blah. I think that works great. Are there any other session zero? I know we're going to be working this out as we play, but are there any other things we want to think about or talk about before we start the game?
I just want to say there's a lovely comment in chat that says, I'm watching, but I've always wanted to get involved with Dungeons and Dragons. So I think this is a good way to do that. That's what we hope for. So thank you all today, seriously, for being in the audience. Again, feel free to comment. Claudia may even say, somebody in the audience, what would you want to say if you were in the caravan with us? And you can go ahead and type your message in chat. But I just, again, really appreciate you being here.
All right. Um, it
Do we
sounds like
are we sending out our lines and veils sheet to our group?
I didn't understand the question. Could you ask it again?
Oh, um, are we playing with lines and veils and safety tools or
Um, I,
not?
I hadn't set that up. But
Oh, okay.
that's what this section is about. So would you please say
Got
more?
it. So, safety tools are tools that have been created so that everyone at the table feels comfortable. And so if there are things that in game you don't want to have come up, or topics you don't want to have happen, certain boundaries you want on how interactions go with your character, things like that. Um, there's often a checklist that people send around as a group, and then it's all combined. So there's a list of things that are sort of in bounds and out of bounds for the game. Um, that's sort of a proactive tool. And then there are reactive tools as well. Things like the X card is something that people use, which is if there's something that makes people uncomfortable for any reason, they're allowed to either type in the chat or say X or hold up a card with an X or make an X with their arms. And immediately play will move away from whatever is happening. It will stop and move to something completely different. And only with there's no questions asked unless that person wants to expand on what happened so that you don't go back there. But it's that's a tool that always is available if people want to stop play or change it if they're getting uncomfortable for any reason.
I love this, and this was one of the session zero things I was hoping we would get to. So yes, I think for our purposes, since this is a one shot and we're a group of people who've never worked together before,
Yeah.
being reactive and letting us know with an X feels like the best way to go. But also, if you've got some clear boundaries where you're like bananas, don't ever mention bananas, just DM me and I can read that and also just like make sure to not have that in the game. Thank you. That's
I'm putting in the general chat, I'm putting a great link to the tabletops to the TTRPG safety toolkit, which has a ton of different resources and a bunch of different tools that have been created. There's a wide variety. It also has cards you can print out to have X cards at your tables, things like that. So yeah, I've thrown that in the main chat for
thank
anyone
you,
who
thank you, thank
is
you.
interested.
Yeah, I'm hoping that as we're playing, we'll also be surfacing any additional tools, things that make accessible D&D play easier for us, especially through the internet. Excellent. Are there any, before we begin, things we'd like to bring up? I got one. So, as your DM, I'm going to be doing this fully theater of the mind. I did start to try and grid this out and make pretty computer grids, and then I recognized that that was going to be a little too much for me for this game. So, in terms of where is your character in the room, usually I've got the room split up into thirds, and I will let you know what those thirds are for gameplay. So there's still going to be movements, actions taken, but it's going to be a little less crunchy than it would be if I was in the physical space with you with the board and the figurines. Does that feel okay to folks? I'm seeing nodding. Awesome. And the last thing I want to share with you is that if I have made a mistake in the math, let me know. I'm never going to be or it feels like we missed something in the gameplay. It's like, hey, wait a second. I think one of the bad guys missed their turn. Let me know if I got distracted with all my screens and missed anything. This is a group activity that we are doing together. All right. Let us begin. A big shout out. We're playing Horror of the Shade. This game was written by Theo Kogod, and it was modified by DCC by Azalea Goose, and then it was even more modified by Vivian. And I even homebrewed a couple of things inside of this. So just shout out to the group creative project that this is. And thank you for the humans who wrote and created characters and scenarios for us. Okay. Sharing the screen for your first image. I made some images so I could imagine where we were. So this adventure begins as a caravan traveling through the hills, and you're preparing to make camp amid ancient ruins. You were recently hired by the satyr Cassius to help guard his caravan as the bard travels to retirement. Bandit raids, heavy rains, they've made the main road just too treacherous for safe travel. So it's forced our wagon train into the hills to find a new route. And it's been slow. It's been a bumpy ride across uneven ground, choked with roots, etc. So that is the location that we are in. Um, Let me share a little bit about Cassios. We're going to see if I can do this well. All right, there we go. Because I made an image for Cassios too. I couldn't help myself. All right, so that's Cassios. That's what I thought Cassios looks like. Cassios comes in. Cassios is very charming. Cassios walks with a limp. Has a cane, and this cane might do other things as well. It might be a sword, it might be a lighter, it might do other things. Like it has a cane, has a prosthetic eye. Because one of his eyes is bad. Cassios has a magnificent waxed mustache, and also is partially deaf. And has a penchant for the theatrical. And Cassios comes in, and the darkening sky breathes chill through the hills, portending a coming storm. And Cassios turns to their staff members, and that's who y'all are. Deloise, Seska, and Tizarine. We hired you, and you're working on the caravan with us. And you're encouraged to help us get set up. We're gonna go inside. I'll show you a photo of what we think the inside of the ruins looks like. But we're about to go into the ruins. So I would like for you as characters to help the people unpack, get a little bit ready. This might be a chance for you to meet some of our NPCs. So I might mention some interesting people for you to meet, but you also might meet some random people. So I just want to encourage you to, at this point, start to explore. And you can ask me what you see, and I'll tell you about it.
Yeah, Deloise is a ranger, wears all black and gold, has like long locks that are tied up into a bun, and is 5'2", but can lift 390 pounds. So, I'm a big believer in like spirits and all that, raised by acolytes, but it's about the strength, and I don't think I'm strong enough, but we're gonna keep it pushing, and I'm gonna go try to help unload some stuff because I can carry things sometimes. So yeah, whoever looks like they would like any help, I guess, is who I'm going towards.
For my character, I am Seska. I am a dwarven fighter. So I am tiny but mighty. I have a bad reputation with giants. They don't like me because I kick their ankles. Again, tiny but mighty. Giants fear me. And I'm very food motivated. I love nature. Nature offers tasty treats. So I am going straight for the snack table. I have worked up an appetite in this caravan.
I think you are not muted, or we need you to unmute, Jen.
Yes, I'm sorry. So Tizarine is a has strawberry blonde hair and green eyes that shimmer with almost an opalescence in the light, and freckles that glitter in the sunlight. Um, she's sitting at the fire, uh, strumming on a lute and sort of looking around casually as everyone is walking around, as she sort of is taking everything in before she goes on a pathway. What am I seeing happening around
Uh,
me?
Evening is approaching. Cassios has discovered this gigantic building, and it's like, there, that's just what we're looking for. And he points up the slope, and it's like It's like a building that's kind of broken up. It's got like broken masonry, but a building is standing there. It's got a roof. It's got marble walls. It's still intact. Cassius would like for you to ensure that the ruins are safe. And check in with all with the paying customers, and he's going to just check out the animals. To Saria, or Tasaria, is a humanoid, golden born. And she's got glasses on. She's got a bunch of books, and she's got a bunch of stuff in the caravan. So she's like trying to like move a bunch of stuff by one of the caravans. And then there's Cesarionic. Cesarionic is red dragonborn, is humanoid. Cesarionic is red, is buff, and is soft. Is so soft. And they were brewing some tea and snacks for people. So they've got some tea and snacks that they so if somebody comes up to them and wants to chat with them about their tea and snacks, that can happen. And if you would like to go into the building, I can start describing what you see in the building as well.
I personally need to go for the tea and snacks. I go there and I critique all of their tea and snacks. So like what kind do they have? I know if it's a good kind, I know if it's not the good kind. I make judgments. Yeah, let me know.
Caesarionic is open to all of your judgments, and all of their food is a little medicinal. So they're asking you some personal questions about your digestion, how you've been sleeping, because that lets them know the best snack for you.
My character has IBS. And so would love to know if they have some food that's like great on the stomach, and also would love to know their journey and why they're here.
Caesarionic shares that they have been working with Cassios for years, going back and forth on these wagon trains. They love it. They're all about nature and like finding herbs and things, and so it's really useful because there are some herbs that only grow in other areas. So just working with Cassios has been super helpful for them. And they do have a snack that's awesome for IBS, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, I have it," and they're very excited to give that to you. That's Caesarionic having a really fun exchange with you. Yes, indeed.
Awesome. Is there any other medicinal supplies I can get from them before going into the big building?
You could ask for something.
Do they have any healing stews or potions?
The Caesarionic's like, not right this second, but I can make some. So if stuff goes down, I got you. Thank you for asking. I'm gonna work on that.
Thank you.
As we're sitting here, I would like to, as I'm plucking out this tune, magic dances off of my lute. And I would like to cast as a ritual comprehend languages on myself before we start adventuring out. And then once that is done, I would love to also I'll wait on detect magic. So I'm gonna get that ready on myself. And then I'll start looking more closely at the ruins. I'm curious about these ruins. They're marble. So it must be some sort of place that was considered valuable in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any sort of marking or writing, carvings that would indicate more about this building?
Yes. So the structure's walls are about 4 feet thick. The floor's constructed of massive, smooth stone blocks made from granite and marble blocks. The ceiling is like 20 feet high. There are strange glyph marks on the stone lintel above the entrance, And that says something. And because you've been playing that music, we're going to tell you what it says. Two rows of marble columns that are about 20 feet tall. They all run down the length of the room to the very back. And at the very back of the room, there's this huge statue. It's a 10-foot high statue depicting a seated man flanked by snarling horned beasts. Their features polished and cracked from age. And there are also roots protruding from cracks underneath the statue that are spreading across the floor towards the hole in the eastern wall, creating some difficult terrain in that area. And I'm going to stop talking and let somebody else actually ask me a question before I tell you what things
So
are. Go ahead and ask me more questions.
wait, what did the writing say?
All right. So you have yeah, you did a comprehend language, so I can just tell you what it says. It says this tomb holds the undead forest queen. Now I've told you that's what it says. Nobody else knows that that's what it says. So you can let us know later on if you'd like to. If others are curious about that lintel, you can try and find it out yourself if you want to. I also just want to encourage you to check around and yeah, you can check any of the things that I've just mentioned.
Um, so Tizarine is an Azamar, but she comes from the Feywild. Um, and she uses it's a modified um why am I forgetting the magical item? Having complete brain fog moment. Um I used this for a different character. It's the figurine, wondrous figurine that transforms. It normally transforms into a creature that fights for you, but instead it transforms into essentially a wheelchair for her. Um, so it's when I need to be ambulatory, I can be ambulatory with a very cool cane. But the rest of the time, I can pop into my chair, which looks like like a floating leaf almost. But it has vines that kind of almost walk on the ground, roll forward on the ground, um, creating a lovely mode of conveyance for myself as I explore in these ruins, looking at these columns. I'd like to approach that statue a bit more and examine it a little more closely.
If you'd like to do an intelligence check, you can do an intelligence check with history or
Hey, my
arcana.
video is not on.
So yeah, if somebody wants to do a intelligence or like a history check, an arcana check, or a nature check, you might find some stuff out doing that.
None of those are great for me. They're all the same. Um, let's go ahead and do a history and see what happens.
All right, so roll
A
a.
13.
You got a 13, and do you have any modifiers for history or?
No, I'm that's with all of my bonuses.
All right, do you have anything in nature?
No, I have no bonuses on my
Okay.
intelligence skills.
And what did you roll? You got a
I'm a
13?
charming one.
um, you said you rolled a 13?
Yes.
So Tizarine is looking at stuff like understood what the language meant, but is like, I don't understand the depths of this. Is still trying to
Hey,
figure it out.
excuse me. Does anyone have any experience studying history or magic or
I
nature? I was
Tizaria,
in the Feywild and I'm not quite familiar here with this realm's background.
Tizaria is perks up when someone asks about history or knowing about stuff, and it's like, wait, huh? Did somebody want to know something? And adjust their glasses, and it's like, did somebody ask you a question? What were you asking? What did you need to know?
And I'll indicate the statue.
I muted myself. All right, so Tazaria is going to roll, and yeah, Tazaria is going to be better at this. So let's see. Oh, digital D20. Well, that was a digital
I
D20.
will throw a bardic inspiration on there, so Tesaria can add a D8 if
Nice.
she would like.
That's amazing.
Or if they would like, I'm sorry.
I also rolled a natural 20. So so uh
Well,
so
then
Tazaria was like, I got this book, and it just opens up to like some pictures and stuff that kind of look like this space. And she's reading about it, and it's talking about these ruins. They look like they're from the lost civilization of the Anaxi. And Cassius is like, the Anaxi. Oh my goodness, I remember the Anaxi. They were an ancient empire that wielded elemental magic. They're not around anymore, though. They've been gone for ages. So Cassius says they've been gone for ages. But Tessaria is like, oh, these ruins are Anaxi ruins. Seska Deloise, do you want to check anything, have any questions, check anything out, or talk to any other characters?
Does anybody, I'm just transporting stuff into the ruins, you know. I don't think Deloise is very interested in what's going on with like ancient empires, all of that stuff. All right, let's go. Let's get this all loaded up. A storm's coming in.
Tazaria goes, oh no, no, you don't need to move my things. I got them. Please don't touch my things. I'm gonna move my trunks myself. Don't touch them. Please don't.
Okay. The lazy will go talk to another person then who would like help moving their stuff and it's just gonna keep going back and forth putting stuff in.
Susurianic has Eller's Damnos and would love some help moving some of those trunks.
Yeah. I I go to Caesarion and I just go um and I just go, yeah, let me help you with that trunk. And I start moving. As I do, I see Seska and I go, my great snack visionary, have there been any good things going on today?
Yes. So thank you for coming up to me. I am so excited. This snack table was packed. It was stocked. They had good tea. They had good recommendations. They were so sweet. And my character, I say it loud enough so that this the snack hosts can hear me. So I make sure I'm kind of buttering them up in case I run into them again so they can give me free teas and snacks that could ideally help me later on. So I share some of the berries I got from the table with Rye, and I kind of spot that statue, and I tell Rye, nothing good ever comes from a giant statue.
Oh,
Deloise.
also, nothing
Sorry,
good
Deloitte.
likely comes from that inscription which says this tomb holds the undead forest queen.
Cassio says, what tomb doesn't hold an undead forest queen? I've been to so many tombs. Everywhere. Half of them have undead forest queens. Don't even worry about it.
Half of them? Half of 50% of them all have undead forest queens.
It is a thing. These ancient temples, these ancient tombs, they have history. There is a unfamiliar acrid odor in the air, and Caesarianic is examining the roots and like scraping them a little bit to see if they can like possibly use them for magic or to see if they can do anything. And they do a nature check. Aha, and it hits. And their nature check lets them know that there's no nearby trees, and these roots are pushing up through the soil. So where are the roots coming from? But they're coming into the room. So Caesarionic is confused by that. And who said they were looking at the statue?
I did, Seska.
Uh,
Oh, Tizarine did as well. Sorry.
all right, excellent. I would like both of you to roll for wisdom or perception as you're looking at that statue. Roll a d20.
13.
Okay.
I got 5.
Okay. And do you have any modifiers?
That was with my modifier.
Awesome. All right. So, Seska is like looking at the statues and is not getting any storytelling from the statue. Is like, I cannot figure this out. Like, I'm not sure what the artist was going for, but I get a feeling from it that's kind of ominous, but I don't know what this story is about. But Tizarine, you have an eye. You have an eye for understanding what this statue was communicating, and you can tell that the wild beasts flanking this guy in the middle, they have little horns and they have folded stone wings. So you notice this. And yeah, and Seska, you just feel sketched out. You just feel sketched out by it. Deloise, did you want to check anything out, or are you still just like moving stuff and you're not getting involved?
I think I kind of just want to look around and kind of like try to like perceive, is there any like, because the vibes are bad, are there any like threats that could be nearby that could be happening? I think that's what Deloitte is kind of looking for right now.
It is raining cats and dogs outside. It's begun raining so hard. So all of our party has come inside to be out of the rain. Cassios started a big old fire, got some help from Deloise to start a big old fire. Was like, let's just like hang out. We're gonna takes out some wine, is about to tell you stories about other tombs they have been at. Because you asked about 50%, and Cassios wants to hold forth. There's a huge crashing sound outside, and you can hear this loud boom, 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 boom. Roll initiative.
I got a 10.
23. It was a natural 20.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
Not
rolled a
that it matters
4.
in initiative.
Here, I'm going to write
Oh
this
no.
down here. All right,
I got an
so
8 overall though.
so Tizarine, you said what'd you get?
23.
23. And then Seska, what did you get?
I got a 10.
And Deloise, what did you get?
An 8. I think the sounds are kind of throwing me off. Too loud. What's going
All right,
on?
now let me roll for initiative for other characters. Boom. Oh wow. Okay. All right. Well, you're not doing good. I like this for our team. All right, let's see how our other characters going. Hey, how are you gonna go? When are you gonna go? Wow, just not doing good. All right, so that's the bad guy. That is a Cassios. Cassios like was on it to be like, hey everyone, there's something going on, but apparently is not paying attention. All right, who else we got? Rolling for wow, just rolling terribly. I love this. Okay, that is Tesseria. And our last NPC, which is Caesarionic. Wow. A 1. Okay. Woo! All right. Well, it's a good thing that we've got a good team going on, because Cassios is like, hey, there's something going on, and it's just waving their cane in the air, but they're not really getting stuff done. So the first person to react to this crash, that's going to be Tesaria. But let me describe Tizarine. Let me describe what is happening. So 2 winged gargoyles descend from the sky, growling loudly. So that loud noise you heard, that was gargoyles. making noise through, like, they're growling loudly through rough granite wings. Their arms grind with every movement to approach the front door. And then there's going to be two coming in at the front door, and then there's two who are coming through that hole in the back of the room. So I had said theater of the mind. We've got the front of the room, which is kind of where that door is. We've got the middle of the room where people were hanging out, and then we've got the near the back of the room where there's the hole in the wall and also the statue. Um, there's sparse mosses and lichens dot the bodies of the gargoyles, and they release a fetid, earthy odor from being in the rain. And sometimes they will, they don't understand language. Um, and they are angry and they are attacking you all. Audience members, I want to let you know you're part of the party. So you're part of the party, and your part of the party immediately is just trying to get to an area to get out of the fray and hide behind some columns. Please feel free to say in the chat anything you would want to say as a person who's in this wagon train who just got attacked by the gargoyles. But I would like to give Tizarine a chance to react.
So where are they in relation to where I am?
Well, actually, that's a good question. Where are you? Did you? You were
I'm
still.
up near the
You're by
statues.
the statues. So you're there are two gargoyles that have entered through the hole near the statues. So there's two
Okay.
gargoyles that are near you.
I would like to I start humming a tune and I will cast a hypnotic pattern right right in front where the statues are, trying to get all of the creatures I can without affecting our party.
Okay. Um so the hip is this a spell?
Yes, hypnotic pattern.
Okay, great.
I
And
can I'll put the text, or I'll put a link into our chat.
oh, amazing. That's awesome. I was about to just Google it to pull up what its effects are, but I can also just ask you, what are the effects of the spell?
Let me just grab it for you. Um, Give me 1 second. It essentially um, captivates they need to make a wisdom saving throw. Um, and there is a twisting pattern of colors that appears. Any creature within the area of the spell has to make the saving throw or becomes charmed and is then incapacitated and has a speed of 0.
Wow, all right. That's
Yeah,
so well,
it's a third level spell, so it's a strumpy spell.
all right. So, I was rolling while you were saying words, so I didn't catch what we needed to hit. So,
It's a wisdom 15 save.
both of the gargoyles failed. They failed super hard, and they failed in exactly the same way. It was interesting that, like, they failed they're in motion together. So do you want to describe what it looks like when these gargoyles get confused?
So they see it's like fireworks in the sky, essentially. Their attention is captured by this burst of color, um, and they are just shocked by it and captivated by it. And so they are now incapacitated and have a speed of 0. So they cannot take actions or reactions. I'm sorry, we're 2024. They are inactive, cannot take action, bonus action, or reaction. Any concentration they have is broken. They cannot communicate, and they if oh the it doesn't affect their initiative roll. And on top of that, because I am a glamour bard, I have. Do I want to do this yet? No, I'm going to wait on the other thing I could do. Okay, so that was my main action. As a bonus action, hmm, I am going to Misty Step No, I'm not. I'm going to stay put. And that will be the end of my turn.
I have a quick question regarding that spell. Does that
Yes.
spell only hit the two gargoyles that are near you, or does it have a wide range of motion? Could you hit all
So
the gargoyles in the room?
it depends how far away they are, but I don't want to catch my allies in that
Excellent. So
range. So
so we're going to keep it to the two gargoyles that are near you. Excellent.
yes.
Seska, you're up next.
Yes. Okay. So I am in the middle of the room. I was mingling with folks. I can move up to 25 feet. Will that get me right up to the gargoyle?
Yes, you can go to. So you're in the middle, and you can take a move to either end of the room.
Okay. So with my gold plated, very shiny armor, I pull out my gold plated great axe. I two-hand it. And I am like ready to charge at the gargoyle. I just throw myself in front of Tizarine to try to protect her. And I would like to strike. I Am I able to talk to Tizarine first before I strike?
I mean, if we've been adventuring for a while, you will know that if you um damage a creature who is under the hypnotic pattern, they will be shaken from their incapacitation,
Yeah. That so
if
can
that's the
I
question.
chat with Tizarine first?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You have like 10 seconds to like have a quick exchange.
Okay. So Tizarine, I want to take these out. I want to take these two out real quick. They have no business being here. I'm scared. I want to protect you. What do you think? Do you think I should leave them hypnotized?
I can hold on to these two if you can get the other ones.
Okay, so I'm gonna move to the other one that's not hypnotized. And then I am going to go ahead and strike. Give me a second.
Because they'll be held for up to a minute, so that's 10 rounds of combat.
Oh, 10 rounds. Okay. That's good
As
to know.
long as we don't hit them,
Yeah.
they should be, and my concentration isn't broken.
Yeah.
They are going to continue to be
Okay. So I would like to
hypnotized.
do great axe uh attack, which does I need to get +7 to hit. And it does slashing damage. So I am going to do, oh, hold on, clear. It's 1d12 +4. So I got 9.
Okay, so first you have to roll to hit. So you rolled 9.
So do I roll the d20 to hit first?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's going to be the d20 plus the plus whatever to hit. So
Okay.
if you have your item equipped, it should say to hit or hit, and it'll be like a
+7, yeah,
plus.
+7 to hit.
Yeah.
So I got 14. Finally, a good dice roll on my end. So I got 14, and then I'll go ahead and roll the d12.
I'm not gonna have you roll the d12 because you did a 14.
Oh, amazing.
But my gargoyles are hardcore, and that did not damage them. Also, they don't get damage from non-magical weapons. So, Seska, like you come in, you're like, "Ah!" And it just goes clink, 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 and just slides off them like butter. So you've just attacked the gargoyles near the door, but it did not do any damage.
I also want to say that my character has it is not the smartest. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I kind of just like to go in, no questions asked, and just wield my great axe around, and that gets me in trouble a lot. But I do love my friends, and I will protect them against anything. So yeah.
I notice, there's some people who have been hiding behind columns, and they're just throwing some rocks randomly. And luckily, one of those rocks distracts the gargoyle that's near you. The gargoyle actually did have an opportunity for an attack, but it got distracted by one of our villagers throwing some rocks. Thank you, villager. Deloise, what are you up to? What are you doing in this moment?
Yeah, so Deloise is with the people in the center of the room is gonna see the big fireworks display and go, I think she's got that and go join Seska. I think first is gonna shoot their crossbow at the gargoyle. And let's see. 10 plus 7, 17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. So I get 1d6. Uh, 3 plus 4. For 7 damage from the crossbow. And then after that hit, I'm going to draw the scimitar and go join the snack visionary in battle. So I get 2 attacks. Oh, I just took the one and I'm gonna swing with the scimitar here. 13 plus 7, 20. 20 to hit. And then 3, 4. For 13 damage there. So,
So 13 damage. That the gargoyle is looking a little dazed. But the gargoyles are mad. These two gargoyles, they have noticed you. They are reacting to you clanking them with weapons. And so one of our gargoyles is now going to do is going to try and bite Seska. So let me roll to see if this gargoyle successfully bites you. Um, yep. All right. So I have successfully bitten you. Um, so I need to roll 1d6. And plus 2. So Seska, you have been damaged with 4. You've gotten 4 damage, 4 piercing damage, being bitten by a gargoyle. Now that second gargoyle is now going to attack Deloise, and is going to try and claw you. So first I'm rolling to see if they successfully hit. They hit. And then how successful is it? Oh. Ooh, ouch. All right, so that's 6 damage. All right. So those are the 2 gargoyles that are near you. The other 2 gargoyles are dizzy and confused and don't know what's going on. And I don't think they get to do anything this turn. So those 2 gargoyles are out of commission. Now we've got our NPCs. Cassios, again, Cassios was like, let's do this, but was mostly just like waving their cane sword in the air and not getting a lot done. But now they're ready, and so Cassios is going to attack them with one of their spells. It's going to do I'm just checking to see if Vicious Mockery would actually do anything. These are gargoyles.
So Vicious Mockery is going to give them disadvantage on their next attack. So even if it doesn't do a lot of damage, it impacts how they will be able to attack next time.
Indeed. So, yeah, I think Cassios is just going to start talking smack, is just insulting the heck out of these gargoyles, is insulting their grate of stone that they're made out of, is insulting the way they are flying in the air. Now let me try it and see if this actually worked. Roll. Ha! Successful spell. Ha ha ha! Excellent. Oh, this was a cantrip. I didn't need to do that. Anyway, It worked. All right. So Cassius has done vicious mockery. Cassius is not moving. So Cassius is in the middle of the room and mocked all of the gargoyles. So they have all been mocked and are going to have disadvantage on their next turn. Then we've got, next we have Cassius, we have Tesseria. Tesseria puts in some earbuds into their ear because this is loud and it's a lot, but they do want to be helpful, right? So they take out their rapier. Actually, you know what? They're not going to take out their rapier. They're going to breathe fire onto two of the creatures that are near Seska and Deloitte. And the gargoyles are like flying in the air. So Cesaria is pointing this fire cone up in the air so it is not impacting you. When I use my breath weapon, each creature in the area of the exhalation must succeed a DC 10 dexterity saving throw. Let me take a second, and I'm just gonna like be out of character for a hot second. I'm like, oh, do I? I just said with magic DM powers, she aimed it in the air. I think that possibly she tried to aim it in the air. And I'm so sorry, Seska and Deloitte. I think I'm gonna have you both do some DC dexterity saving throws just to make sure you weren't burnt when you like at those two gargoyles. My gargoyles are going to do. Oh, they failed. They failed their saves because they got viciously mocked. So they failed. And they took 2d6 damage. So I'm going to roll those, and I'm going to ask Seska and Deloitte to roll dexterity, just for a dexterity throwing. And if you have
I got a 25 on my save.
okay, how about you, Seska?
I got a 16.
Excellent. Neither of you were fine. You felt the heat, but you jumped out of the way in exactly the right time. All right, that's 6 and
What about this one?
12. All right, so we've got 12 damage. Oh my gosh. Okay, we are wrecking these gargoyles. I think the gargoyles next to you actually just got fully wrecked. I'm taking out my calendar right now. Not my
We're
calendar,
cooking.
my calculator. There we go. There's the calculator. 7 plus 10 plus 12. Woo! Yeah. All right. So, two of the gargoyles next to the two gargoyles that were near the entrance, they have gotten kind of obliterated. They've gotten really hammered. And they are lying still on the ground. And their wings are broken and they're not moving. Yeah.
What are they?
I'm going to keep going, and let's see. The next person who needs wait, yes, next person's going to go is Caesarionic. And actually, yes, Caesarionic and Caesarionic. Oh wait, can both of my characters do this? Okay, what the heck? I'm going to have them. Well. Yeah, I'm gonna have them both do it. So Caesarionic is also going to breathe fire because it's like, yeah, fire is a great idea, and also is now breathing fire at the two gargoyles that seemed kind of dizzy and like out of it. Breathed fire on them. I think that's what I want to do. I might change my mind right now. I think I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to change my mind because it's so boring to have her breathe fire as well. So instead of doing that, she's actually going to use her melee weapon, but attack to do a extended spell slot to do an extra radiant damage on that target. So let me roll to see if that hit. Oops, that's the wrong dice. Let's try that again. And what is this added to? 12? Oh, it did not hit. It failed to hit. So Sarionic is about to do an amazing spell to hit with the melee weapon, but it fails. Wah, wah, wah. And then that brings up Tizarine again.
All right. So, uh, on the one that just got attacked, that would wake it up from the hypnosis. So I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and use vicious mockery. And I'm going to say, oh, you just, you just watched your friends get decimated, and yet you think you're cooler than they were? I don't think so. And my words are laced with magic. So that gargoyle needs to make a wisdom saving throw. It's a wisdom 15 save.
Wait,
You're muted.
You're muted.
I know I was talking to myself because I was like, oh, they did it, and I was like, wait a second, no, there's a modifier because they're so dumb. They're so dumb. They got 15 though.
Okay, so that meets. So that's a success. Okay.
I
Um,
so the gargoyles, they do not react to your insults. They're like, we don't understand human language. What are you even doing?
mm, do I have anything else I would like to do here? No, I just stick my tongue out at them. That's the end of my turn.
Seska, what do you do in this moment?
Yeah, so speaking out of character as Shaina for a second, I want to clarify. Deloitte did piercing damage, and it damaged the gargoyles, correct? Okay. So now, right, Deloitte?
Piercing for the crossbow, slashing for the scimitar.
Okay. So now back in character as Seska. Since my great axe didn't work, I have another trick up my sleeve. I have a javelin that does piercing damage, and I'm ready to burst these gargoyles into tiny little pebbles. So I am going to go after. Am I able to run to the one near Tizarine? Because now I see that it is not hypnotized anymore, and that her vicious mockery didn't work, and I am worried for my friend, and I want to protect.
Yes, you have the ability to take a move and then also do an action.
Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure I could move far enough. Okay, so I am going to run over there and get my javelin and try to bust them into some tiny little pebbles. All right, so I need a 7 or higher to hit. Oh, I got a 17. Yay. So I got a 17, and now I will roll for damage. One second. There we go. Okay, so I got a 6 plus 4. That would be 10.
So another one of the gargoyles is like, hey, ah, gunk, and falls on the ground and is knocked the heck out. So good job with that javelin. We got one more gargoyle that is ready to attack, and I'm trying to. Where are you, Deloitte? Are you still by the other door?
Yeah, I
All
think
right.
the one is stunned though. That the one that's left. If everybody, because the two at the entrance are down. So I think Deleuze's gonna go. Should we just finish? Should we all just finish them? I don't know. Um, Okay, and I think Deleuze feels a bit bad for the gargoyles because they really got roasted, even though they don't understand language. But it's gonna take another crossbow shot from across the room and then move in. Oh, I got the one bad roll out. What is that? That's another 25 to hit. Yeah. And then that is 7 damage there. And then I'm gonna move in with the scimitar. All right, there it is. 10. 10 to hit. I did not hit. Yeah,
Um,
just feeling too bad for
so
them. Heart's not in it.
you destroy that final gargoyle. Do you want to describe what it's like when you destroy that final gargoyle?
Just with a little bit of sadness, just a crossbow bolt from across the room, and it kind of just go shatters into pebbles.
As this gargoyle dies, you hear the bursting crack of a ruptured stone from the back of the chamber, and the statue that was like explodes. It explodes. So like you I don't know what did you did something to that gargoyle and it exploded into stones, and then a second later the statue exploded into like a dusting the room with splinters of shattered rock, as a writhing tangle of black tree roots pushes up from below the floor, and all of the other stone statues, because there was other stone statues that were there, they all fly up and they fly straight at the roots and the branches, and they just collide with them and they just crash into them. um and that's what just happened. um okay.
Claudia, sorry to interrupt. Out of character. Do we want to take a break now before we get into the next big, you
That
know?
is that is what my breath was, because I was like,
Okay.
oh, this might be the right time for a break, but it is like 3 minutes before. Um, so I'm gonna say, there's a huge crash, and none of you were outside the building fighting, so you're all still inside, and you're breathing heavily, and we're gonna take a break. Let's take a break. Do we want to take a break for 5 minutes or 10 minutes?
Thank you. I think let's do a is 10 okay for everyone? Tizerine, Deloise, is that enough? Okay. So let's do a 10-minute break. We will be back here at 7:20 p.m. PT, and I'll write that in the chat as well. And Alex will be watching over the Zoom space. So thank you all so much.
Welcome back, everybody. Shaina, did you want to say anything official before we come back into the gameplay?
Yeah, why don't we go ahead? We had a comment earlier, and I know we had mentioned this, but somebody wanted a visual of our characters. So why don't we go ahead? I know Deloise, why don't you start us off and we just give a brief visual description of our characters before we get into
Yeah, let's do it.
things?
Yeah, so Deloise 5'2", but very like strong, brown skinned, has like long locks that go into like a ponytail and is just wearing a lot of like black and gold, has some like black lipstick with like a little like center gold thing right at like the bottom lip. And yeah, that's Deloise.
What species are they?
Oh, human.
And then Tizerine.
Um, Tizerine is an Aasimar with kind of wild, curly, strawberry blonde hair. Um, they're about 5'4", and slender, and they have freckles that glitter in sunlight, and green eyes that shimmer with an iridescence. Um, and they wear vibrantly colored clothes. Uh, and they have a number of instruments hooked onto their chair.
And Seska is a dwarven fighter, about 4'2", wears gold armor. It is not made of gold. It was painted gold. Because my character cannot afford gold, but we like the look of it. and also painted the great axe gold, but it has some chips in it because the paint is coming off from all the throwing of the axe. And she has a dark purple lipstick. She's got the shadowy eye makeup going on and a lot of piercings, and then a huge like long black braid and olive toned skin. Yeah.
Cassios is a satyr. Like I said, I needed to make images to help me decide what characters looked like. So I made some images because I was like, all right, I want to know what my satyr looks like, and my satyr has some assistive devices. But you can tell they have like goat legs, right? And then let's see. See, I made a lot of different characters. This is to no, not, this is Caesarionic. So this is Caesarionic who likes to do medicine and had the snacks and was serving people. Loves to serve the people. And then I had. Oh wait, was it you? Yes, this is what I said Tesseria looked like. So she's Dragonborn, and she's got a cup of tea, she's got a book, and she's ready to get into the history of it with you. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen real quick, and we are now back. Um, so we just completed fighting the gargoyles. And the final gargoyle exploded, and then the statue exploded. And when that statue exploded, some weird stuff started to happen. So outside the building, everything, as far as you can see, has been consumed by a yellow glowing mist. And it's pressing against the building, but the mist is not coming into it, but it's pressing up against the building, and it smells like burnt metal. And the mists, they generate like light about for like 30 feet, and then dim light, and then you can't see or hear anything through them. So that's what's happening. And the room itself, again, gigantic hole in the middle of the floor, that's just appeared there, and the statue disappeared. What do y'all want to do? How do you want to react to all this stuff?
Think the lazy goes, something tells me that the undead forest queen doesn't like us very much. I'm not sure why though. And I guess is going to I have terrible investigation, but I kind of want to investigate the yellow mist.
How are you trying to investigate this yellow mist? Like, are you trying to like go outside and touch it, or are you just like looking at it with your eyes and just like to suss it out?
I think I got like berries earlier from Seska, so I think I want to throw one out and see what happens to like something organic in the mist because it doesn't smell great.
You throw a berry and just like goes into the mist and just goes in, and you never see it again. It's gone forever.
Oh, it's gone forever. Does it make a sounds when it
No, no,
leaves?
you just threw that berry and it was like gone. It like disappeared into the mist.
You just
Oh,
wasted a good
you're
berry.
mu- you're muted.
Out of character plug, Ravenloft book coming in June. Um, for those that don't know, Ravenloft is a horror setting in D&D that you're transported to by these magical mists, and it's wonderful if you like horror.
Yeah. I think Deloitte hears Seska say that they wasted a good berry and just Deloitte goes, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to see what was going on. I couldn't think of anything else. I'll get two berries for you for the future. Is that okay?
Sounds great to me. Sounds great to me.
I do. Do either of you want to do anything?
So there's a a hole behind the statues, right? That takes us further into the building.
The statue exploded, and now there's just like this huge hole in the floor, and it's like there's like a tunnel that's going through it. Yeah.
So that's a passageway we didn't have previously, correct? Okay. Would anyone like to go perhaps down this way?
Tizarine, this is why I love you. You haven't been with us long, but I feel like it's going to be a beautiful fit. Cassios is so pleased that you brought it up.
There's a
Cassios,
mystery to solve there.
yes, Cassios is curious about the mist, right? Like there's this mist, right? And Caesarionic is like, I wonder if I should go try and do something with the mist, but like they can't teleport through the mist. They can't misty step through the mist. They can't get out of the mist, right? So they're like, okay, we're here. And Cassios is like, all right, this is not cool. I don't like this. I was having a great adventure. I was enjoying the lore of this space, but I'm not into this yellow mist. And now we've got this passageway. I don't want to go down there, but I would love for y'all to go check it out. Like we're gonna stay up here with most of the party. Most of us are gonna stay in this room. But Tizarine, since you brought it up, Deloise, Seska, and maybe Sarnianic, do you want to go with them? But could you go check out?
Cesarine starts singing a song called Don't Split the Party.
Those lyrics, they're so inspiring. I don't know.
I'm like jamming, right? Like my feet are moving and grooving, but then I look back at Cassios and I'm like, there better be extra coin in this for us if we're going down here.
Double pay. I will double your
Hazard
pay.
pay. Mm-hmm.
That is correct. So Cassios, it picks up the song and adds new lyrics that are all about how your pay's going to get doubled, and there is no splitting of the party because the party is together in heart and spirit. Thank you so much for checking out what's down there. We'll see you. We'll see you in a little bit. So yes, the only way to go is forward.
Tizarine will cast light on uh a little extension on her chair. Actually on her cane. Um so we have some light moving forward as we go into the darkness.
So Surianic does the exact same thing and casts light on a book that Cesare is holding. So like the book is a little like a flashlight. So we've got a couple of sources of light now. Anything else before we start walking down the hallway?
Well, I kind of position myself somewhat a step in front of Tizarine and sorry, what is the other character's name that's with us?
So
Cesar?
we've got
Cesario?
yeah, we've got
Sorry.
Cesaria, who is our nerdy uh dragonborn, our gold dragonborn, and then we've got Caesarianic, who's a red dragonborn. So we've got gold and red.
Okay, so I'm gonna I may forget their names because brain fog, so I may just refer to them as our Dragonborn
I'll
baddies.
put it in our chat.
Thank you, Tizarine. Or Chen. Okay, so I position myself kind of a step in front of Tizarine, Deloise, and our Dragonborn baddies. And I kind of pull out my great axe just in case we meet any danger. And I also really love the way the light is lighting up my armor and my axe.
As soon as Deloise heard double pay, Deloise locked in, and I think as we start to go down, I wanted to cast Primeval Awareness. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna spend a spell slot to kind of it allows me to sense any creatures within 1 mile. So I'm hoping to kind of pick up if what we're about to get into, essentially. I'd like kind of like to scout. So I'm behind Seska, crossbow at the ready, just trying to get a sense of what's ahead of us.
So you don't sense that there's anything or anyone waiting for you in the next chamber, but you have a sense that there are creatures further in that you might get to, because you said this is a sense that gives you like a sense for a mile, so you can, but it feels safe nearby.
Okay, as we walk, I would like to I'm gonna start singing a song about Pebbles the gargoyle and our triumphant defeat.
415.
Oh,
I think
Sorry
we're
about
okay.
that. You can keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry.
oh, okay. For about our triumphant battle with Pebbles the gargoyle, who is now Rubbles the Pebble. And I'm going to give you each a bardic inspiration, which you can use at any point in the next hour, um, which I assume should be enough time, because that's a long time in D&D land. Um, if you fail a D20 roll at some point, you can add a D8 onto that to try and flip that failure into a success.
Cesaria like shakes their blonde hair and is feeling like inspired. Like normally Tessaria is like this all the time and like kind of like opens up and is like, let's do this, let's go. And y'all start making your way down this dark, winding kind of tunnel, right? And you're going through it. You've gone far enough where you're actually getting a little nervous because like where is this going, and then it opens up into this room, so it's like nice that you had the light sources in this dark tunnel, which was just claustrophobic and a little scary, but then you open up into this huge room where energy tingles across your skin. There are 8 brightly painted bas reliefs running along the southern wall of this beautifully stunning hall. And it lights up when you enter it. So it's full of light. And the statuesque murals were masterfully carved. So bas relief is like it's coming out of the wall a little bit, and they were masterfully carved with lifelike detail, and they seem to be telling some kind of a story. And there's more of those black roots. So you see those familiar black roots, and they've burrowed into the room. Again, they're coming from someplace from the depths, it seems. They've burrowed into the room through holes in the ceiling and the floor. And these seem thinner than the others, but they're all growing towards the direction of the hallway you just left. So it's like the roots are trying to like escape into the world or something. And then there is a sealed door in the southwest corner. So we've got these beautiful bas reliefs, this wall covered in these 3-dimensional, brightly colored, high contrast images. Um, and if you would like to ask what they look like, I can describe them to you.
Yes, please.
All right, so Tizarine is in that beautiful wheelchair, and approaches the first mural, where a woman stands, painted gold, crowned with a wreath of black tree branches. So she's got a wreath of black tree branches around her head. The woman is painted gold, and before her, there are other gold painted people, and they're kneeling. They're kneeling. And there's a massive tree towering over the woman, and its branches and trees are outstretched. So you've got woman in gold, you've got other people in gold kind of leaning over, and this massive black tree towering over. That's the first mural.
My character quickly comments, like, huh, you think that's real gold?
The second mural is very similar to the one we just saw, but the woman has been painted the same black as the tree. So she's no longer looking gold. She's the same black as that tree, and the trunk now bends low towards her, like the tree is bowing towards her. In the third mural, the woman no longer stands, but she's lying horizontally beneath the tree. The roots are wrapped around her to form like a coffin. And the gold painted people, they're still bowing, but now the tree stands up straighter than ever. And its branches are pointing up to the sky. So this third relief has the woman. She's no longer standing. She's lying horizontally beneath the tree, and its roots have wrapped around her to form a coffin. And the gold painted people, they're still bowing. And the tree is standing upright and has its branches shooting to the sky. There's going to be 4 more murals I'm going to describe. So I'm going to pause in case anyone wants to comment on a mural.
Wait, so there are 7 or 8? Because we've gotten 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. There are 8. So there
Okay.
are 5 more. There are 5 more. I'm
5
about
more.
to read the 4th one. So yes,
Okay.
there are 8 total murals.
Um,
So
before we got into the tomb, was there a tree, a large tree anywhere nearby? Okay.
Oh. Um,
so I'm from the Feywild. Does any of this seem familiar or
possibly. Um,
okay?
Let me describe the rest of the murals,
Okay.
and then possibly you might want to ask for like a perception check to
Okay.
discern more of the meaning in them. In the 4th mural, we have the woman. She's rising up through the center of the tree. So that woman who was like in a coffin with the roots, she's now inside the center of the tree, bursting out through the top, her arms outstretched, and the gold people bowed in earlier panels, they're actually turned away. So like all those gold people who were bowing are now turned away as she is exploding out of the tree. Then in the 5th mural, hovering above a forest of gnarled black trees, the woman holds her arms outstretched, hands reaching toward a different group of humans on a distant hill. So like there's a distant hill and there's a group of humans on it, and the woman has her arm outstretched towards them. This new group is painted like a shade of gray that's almost indistinguishable from the stone that the relief was carved on. Mural number 6. The gray humans brandish torches and flaming axes. So those gray humans that were on that hill, they are now brandishing torches and flaming axes. And overhead, winged gargoyles fill the sky. And then on the opposite side of this painting, you see the woman hovering above a copse of black trees. So she's just like flying over this group of gnarled black trees. Then in the 7th mural, those humans, those gray humans, they are burning the forest down. Dark trunks flaming while the gargoyles restrain the woman. So we see the woman, she's being held back by gargoyles, and they're burning the forest down. And then in the very last mural, once again, the woman lies horizontally beneath the earth. A massive gargoyle looms over her, while several smaller gargoyles, holding torches, form a circle around them both. And above ground stands a 4-sided building, which is, it looks a lot like the building that you were in, where you're like, wait a second, I think I've seen this room before, because you were just in it. And that is a description of what all the murals in this beautiful room look like.
Just from an emotional standpoint, Seska is very moved by these murals, and doesn't feel empathy towards the villagers, but feels more empathy towards the woman in the tree. Seska is more aligned with nature and has a background of leaving their home because she wasn't happy with the way her community was treating the nature around them. And so she just remarks like, "Did uh, were the gargoyles actually not evil?" So she kind of asked that to Tizarine and Deloise.
I think,
It's
oh, you can.
no, go ahead, please.
I think Deloise is kind of very moved and is like openly weeping for I think how they've interpreted this was that the people have like destroyed this forest and the gargoyles with like the help of the gargoyles and imprisoned this the forest queen. So I think Deloise is kind of like uh going through those of like, oh, there was destruction here and is kind of starting to think, how can we fix this if we can at all?
Okay, so Deloise. Okay, that makes sense. I Seska thought that the gargoyles maybe were trying to protect the spirit of the fallen tree. But I now see Deloise's point of the gargoyles are there to trap this spirit, potentially.
Yeah, so Sarionic it responds. Well, no, Cesaria responds to you when you're like, "Hey, are those were the gargoyles bad guys or good guys?" And Cesaria's response is, "Well, they seemed definitely bad and evil because they were trying to kill us. But you know, who knows? I'm not sure. Um,
We were theoretically invading their home, so there's
exactly.
a moment of are we the baddies?
Yeah, are we the bad guys? Are we the problem? Oh, so Surianic takes out a really lovely ginger chew and gives it to Deloise because is and it's like this is really great for just calming your emotions because I can see that you've been impacted by this and I thought you might enjoy this. You don't have to eat it if you don't want to.
Um, they say
Can
thank you and take it.
I'm trying to clarify something from these reliefs. Does it seem that the black tree is a corrupting influence, or does it seem to be just a different elemental influence? Because there's a way to read this that it's a person from one group that is corrupted and absorbed by a power and then goes to try and, for lack of a better term, colonize another group who then fight back. There's a way to read this that there's a woman who is of two groups who is rejoining one of those groups from another, um, and becoming part of that community, and then is attacked by another group. So I'm trying to get a sense of the way that it's carved and what kind of attitude is in the artistic style of it.
Tazaria is very bummed that Cassios did not come with us because Cassios is amazing at dramaturgy and would have helped us understand this story. But Tazaria still has like one of the books because they were using it as a flashlight, and they do a perception check. Rolling.
Can I give them the help action? Because I'm also interested in, or do they not need it?
No, no, they totally needed it. They need it. So please help.
Yeah, I think I'm pointing out like,
Yes.
well, does this match that? Like, I think that's where Deloise's help comes from.
All right, that was incredibly helpful because Tazaria was on the wrong page. Does not was like looking at something and thought they had it right, but it was wrong. And then Deloise was like, "Wait, what about this?" And then they got it. So that woman is the Nodmere Queen Rhydedeth. Rhydedeth was worshipped as a goddess and magically controlled the trees because the Nodmere were like a matriarchal society that was like all about nature and stuff. And the Anaxi were like a patriarchal society that apparently was all about burning the trees, according to this relief that we're looking at. She was buried in a sacred grove, but then it looks like she used her own necromantic magic to return from the underworld. So like those like the scene where it looks like the people who were worshiping the tree are turned away. I'm not sure if the people were into it. I'm not sure if her people were for the move she did from the underworld, but that's what she did. She used necromantic magic to return from the underworld, and we're not sure why, but she tried to conquer the neighboring Anaxi. So, like, we can't tell from this mural if she was responding to a threat from the Anaxi or if she had just been like holding on to resentments about the Anaxi and wanted to get rid of them. We can't really tell in this artwork. But she tried to conquer them, and then the Anaxi burned the Nodmere groves to the ground, just burnt them all down to the ground, and used gargoyles to bury her in this tomb. So it definitely looks like the gargoyles are part of the Anaxi, and the gargoyles were there to bury Queen Rhydedeth in this tomb. And I guess that's why the lintel says, "Here lies the undead forest queen." Um,
Can we get a sense of who actually made this and is telling this story? Is it like the Anaxi or like past worshippers? Like, is it the Anaxi that like built this temple, but then somebody else came in to like build the murals? Like, yeah, I think that's what Deloise is interested in now.
Yeah, is there any writing or anything that could give us an indication?
um, let's see. So,
Actually, what language were the glyphs in?
the glyphs were in primordial.
It was primordial.
Um,
Okay.
it looks pretty clearly like the Anaxi are the ones who made this. This all looks like it was made by the Anaxi and designed by the Anaxi. So history is told by the people who won. The Anaxi are the people who built this space. So this beautiful hall that's telling this story, it was built by the Anaxi.
So
Um,
this is a prison, not not an honorable burial
Tasaria
site.
Tasaria agrees with you. Yeah, this seems like this is a prison for
Okay.
her. Or a tomb. I'm not sure which, because like undead queen, what does that even mean?
If she's undead, she's alive, sapient, aware. And so, yeah, I think a prison
Ah,
is probably the closest. I mean, even if it is a tomb, she's aware of being trapped, I would think. I
uh,
might be wrong. And this is me as a player guessing.
yeah. This is
So
well, to a certain extent, your characters are sitting in this hall, just talking and guessing about what the mural means and like what's the story of this.
I think
Tazar.
I'm actually a step ahead of where Tizarine should be. So
Oh.
I'm going to dial that back.
Well.
Tizarine hasn't studied a lot of things.
Well, Tazaria.
Intelligence in modern D&D is book learning, it's academic study. So that is what I don't have a
Oh.
lot of because I am not from this realm.
It is cool for you to ask other characters questions because Tazaria is like deep in the book and is looking it up. And thank you to Loisy for your help, because now they can, like, now they actually really get it. Like, they're like, all right, so this is what I think I figured out. Those yellow mists that, like, nobody could misty step through and were, like, really weird. I think this is part of an ancient magical defense system created by the Anoxi to prevent this queen from escaping, because apparently it looks like she was dead because they buried her, and then she came up through a tree to, like, do some violence, and then they put her back in the ground. At least that's what it looks like in these pictures. It looks like the Anoxi were unable to kill her, and then maybe, I'm not exactly sure what this looks like, but maybe she was like a seed that was planted in the earth, but they couldn't destroy her. Like, according to this artwork, it looks like they couldn't destroy her. And so these ruins are possibly like a jail to keep her down and keep her here. Um, that said, it looks like this place is getting a little cracked up. Like, what's up with all these black roots?
So Seska actually goes up to one of the black roots and decides to like start picking at it. Um while asking Caesarionic and Tisaria, um so are gargoyles, are they the only things we may have to face if we go forward into the tomb? Does your book over there name any other monsters?
It's a history book, and the Anoxi and the Mod Weir, whatever they're called, they were around for a very long time. So Tazaria is not sure. Tazaria is not sure. Maybe,
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Well, I reckon I really want to help this lady out because she may have some gold in her tomb. And we're due for a big amount of hazard pay.
We have done a lot of jailbreaks in the past, so what's another one, you know?
Sir Surionic is also checking out the roots and just like looking at them, and doing a nature check to figure out like what's the story with these roots, and it's still not getting a lot. It's not getting a lot of information. I would you like to search the room or search for any more clues on that mural?
Seska is not the most perceptive or intelligent. So she just kind of sits down and starts sharpening her great axe. I believe you're muted, Tisserine.
Sorry. I'll try and search.
Go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
Perception?
Yeah.
9.
Um,
But I have a passive perception of 15, if that helps.
that does help.
Okay.
So you find a trunk. You find like a box, a
Oh,
trunk, and it's marked with some like symbols that resemble some of the symbols that were in the mural where they were like burning the forest down. So like some of those symbols are also on this trunk.
is it language?
It's like symbols. So it's like there was like some symbols or pictures that were in the mural that was about burning the forest down, and
Right.
they look similar, but who knows
I'm
what
just
the
wondering if
language.
comprehend language
Oh yeah, no,
is
comprehend.
effective or not.
Actually, would comprehend languages help you understand a symbol? Yes, it
It
would.
depends on what it is.
Yeah, yeah, I think it would. I think it would. Like
Okay.
I in real time was like, is a symbol language? Yes. Yes, it is. So yes. So yeah, your comprehend languages. Boom. And you can tell that that's the fire symbol. So if you want to get into that box, you need to open it with fire.
So this box will open with fire if anyone has fire.
Do we want to open it?
I don't know.
Um,
But
well,
later, if we want to open it, perhaps.
yeah, I guess Deloitte kind of wants to look at the door because there was a door that's like locked, right?
The
Um,
door is not locked, but try to get through it.
oh, that sounds like a threat.
Before we do that, question. Do we have the time for me to sit and play a song while we take a, do we have time for a short rest?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Um, at the end of that short rest, you all will get heroic inspiration because I'm a bard and I do that.
What does heroic inspiration do?
It allows you to you can only have one at a time. It can either be awarded by the DM or by a special ability. Um, and you can use it, you spend it to re-roll a die roll, and then you have to use the new roll. So usually you'll use it if you fail a roll or if you need a higher roll for something.
So you're playing this beautiful music. Deloise is like checking out the door, trying to figure it out. Seska is just like messing with their axe and just like cleaning it or something. Deloise, the door is shut, but and it's not locked. But I need you to do either a strength check or a dexterity check to try and open that door.
Yeah, I won't open it yet.
You're like, I don't even want to mess with it. And you have this trunk that you could open now, or you could save it for later.
Seska really wants to open the trunk because I like anything that could potentially have loot or some objects we can take with us into the next area.
Tazaria's like, I'm curious about what's in this trunk as well. And honestly, I've been doing this for a while. Generally, trunks usually have cool stuff. Except for once when the trunk was a person and tried to eat us. But like that only happened once, so I'm not worried about it. Um
Seska holds her axe harder upon hearing that.
and Tasaria exhales of a cone of fire onto the trunk. Like we all stand away, and then and the trunk opens with this fire. The trunk opens.
I
Can
will
I
use a
have
mage hand to gently open the top of the box from a
can
distance.
can I have readied an action in case something hops out so I have my crossbow bolt ready?
Yes, yes. I'm going to allow that. Yes. So we've got Deloise, who's got like the just trigger finger next to the crossbow. Tizarine has used their mage hand to open it, so you're far away from it. And this is what's inside this chest. There is a magic fidget box. The
Yes.
fidget box is a small plastic cube festooned with buttons and spinners and switches. You can use it one time a day, and you can use it to roll an intelligence based check with advantage. There's three things in this box, so I'm going to describe the three things. You can decide how you want to split them up, or if one person wants to be greedy and take them all. There's also a potion of fire breath, which is very uncommon. Now, of course, Tessaria is like, I'm not interested in that. I can literally breathe fire. It's not an issue. Potion of Fire Breath. After you drink this potion, you can use a bonus action to exhale fire at a target within 30 feet of you, and the target must make a DC 13 dexterity saving throw. And they will take 4d6 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. And the effect ends after the exhalation has happened 3 times, or after an hour of gameplay has passed. And then the last thing in that box is just a potion of greater healing, and it is 4d 4 plus 4. So yeah, potion of greater healing. So we've got a fidget box that helps you with an intelligence-based check. We've got a potion of fire, and we've got a potion of greater healing. Both Tessaria and Susurianic are like, I don't need any of those things. I'm good.
So the big question is, would we rather give the fidget spinner to someone who has a likelihood of needing to reroll intelligence because their score is lower and they would need to have a better chance of getting a higher score? Or would we rather give it to someone who has the higher score and give them a better chance of, more success?
Seska is like, you know, I've gotten this far in life without much intelligence. So I'm not really into this. You can go ahead, decide amongst yourself, Deloitte and Tizarine.
We can also have someone carry it until it needs to be used. I think Seska might be a great option for the potion of fire breath. Since you're right up in people's faces.
Seska is really hyped about this. I am elated, excited, and let's go find some baddies to use it on.
Nice.
I already have
And Deloitte, do you want the healing potion?
I already have some.
I do too. So, I mean, we can have it for whenever someone needs it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Surianic is like, Tizarine, I really like the idea of nobody owns anything. Like we're gonna need this as a collective. I'm happy I got my bag here, so I can hold on to this potion of greater healing. But if anybody gets hurt, let me know. I got you. And I can also do the same with the fidget box. And then if somebody needs it, I'll toss it to you if you need it. Does that feel
Perfect.
good? Okay, all right. So you have opened up the trunk. You have divvied up the things that were inside of it. So Sirianic is holding on to the fidget box and the potion of greater healing for when people need it. And Seska has that potion of fire breath and is super excited about it. And you still have that door just sitting there. Oh, also by the door, there are also fire symbols.
Okay, so Seska is just really excited to get to the next area, doesn't quite read or interpret the fire symbols, and just runs straight up with the great axe to tear down this door.
Could you roll a d20?
Yeah.
And this is strength. Do a strength check. Oh, what'd you get?
I got 18.
Yes. Deloitte like had gone to the door, had checked it out to see like, like what's this lock about? Like what's the story with it? And then you'd like gotten a little distracted by the trunk, you were dipping up that stuff, and Seska like is like, this is awesome, this potion, puts it in their back pocket, takes out that axe and goes wham, and just explodes the door open. Like doesn't even try to use the handle, just explodes the door open with their axe, and that is effective. And now you can all walk into the next room. I'm going to now show you a picture I made for the next room. Oh, I also made a picture for that hall of murals. I just now realized. Okay, so let's share screen. So that's the photo I made for the hall of murals. And then you are now in the Sphinx's chamber. This next room Just has a gigantic sphinx in the center. That sphinx is gigantic. It's like a gigantic statue, like cat statue kind of looking thing. And the yes, I love that you understand the vibe of the sphinx, Alex, in the audience, because this sphinx is like, hello. I'm so happy that you've shown up because I got stuck here. Like I was just exploring and now I live here like forever. It's a thing. You seem cool. You can try to escape through the yellow mist, and I could go with you or something. I'm I've got a riddle for you.
Oh, love riddles.
Can I whisper to Deloitte real quick and just be like, man, I'm telling you, never trust a statue.
But this one seems so cool.
I'm just like judgmentally looking at it, waiting for the riddle.
And this sphinx is just like giving you like little winks. It's just like is always
Um,
like seem like they're taking a selfie or something. Yes, Tizarine.
I kind of well, let's get let's get the riddle first, and then I'll see if I want to do more things that are fun and silly.
Okay.
So I'm very excited to give you this riddle. I don't get a lot of guests, so I'm very excited to do this. This is the riddle. I am not found in a person's body, but in the world they walk upon. I am created by stairs, ignored by designers, and felt by those who cannot use them. I disappear when a ramp is built. What am I? And then the Sphinx goes,
I whisper over to Seska. Are you sure this person's bad? They're so cool.
I know this is like I want to be friends with this Sphinx.
I just like pop a berry in my mouth. I'm like, I don't know. I still don't know.
Can I like insight check this Sphinx to be like, uh, Deloise's not good with riddles, or the brain stuff. So if we get this wrong, is it gonna be a problem? Can I like read this diva?
go ahead and roll for insight.
Should have created a higher intelligence character. I always do this.
17. I have good insight.
My
Nice.
typing is really bad. Someone's asked for me to put the. Oh, wait, I can do this. I can do this because I could copy it from this computer. Aha! Yes, and now I'm putting it in the chat. Paste. I did it. The riddle is in the chat. It would have been better practice for me to drop the riddle before I read it to y'all. Thank you for asking. That was useful. All right, I just
You know what?
distracted myself doing that though.
I'm gonna make a case that because of who our characters are, that this isn't gonna be an intelligence check dependent conclusion.
Yeah.
Because I have a character
Um,
who's using a wheelchair.
I
So
rolled a 17 on insight. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry to
so
cut
no,
you off.
please. I'll hold, I'll wait. Because I
so you rolled because you were like, I just need to get some insight. And the question that you were trying to find an answer to is this a dangerous game to play with the Sphinx? Like, if we get the riddle wrong, are we trapped here forever? Is something going to go wrong? And the vibe you get is that you're not sure why the riddle is happening. Why is there a riddle happen? You're not getting any information about like why this Sphinx is giving you a riddle. So that's what just happened. And now the Sphinx is like, I gave you the riddle. Is anyone going to answer it? Let me give it to you again in case you were not listening. Also, like the Sphinx has a lot of neck action. Like just has a lot of neck action going on. So the Sphinx says, "This is the riddle. I am not found in a person's body, but in the world they live in. I am created by stairs, ignored by designers, and felt by those who cannot use them, and I disappear when a ramp is built. What am I?"
Seska is just like one, not the most intelligent, two, just completely sussed out, right, by this Sphinx. Like, doesn't still isn't sure about it, right? The Sphinx is like batting its eyes at me, and I'm like, I don't know if it's flirting. I don't know if it like what's happening. So I'm just slowly backing away, and I like whisper to Tizarine, I'm like, yo, Brainiac, you got any ideas?
I mean, well, it does feel like, and this is not an answer. We're talking about barriers to access, aren't we?
Caesarionic goes, yes, exactly. And Tazaria's like, why didn't you say anything before? And Caesarionic was like, we were having a conversation, but I agree with you completely. It seems like the answer, and then Caesarionic is like, should we officially like do like, all right,
Please.
I'm gonna try then. And so Caesarionic says to the Sphinx, is the answer access barriers? And the Sphinx does a dance. The Sphinx does like a full dance. And it's like, exactly. That's exactly correct. You got it correct.
If that wasn't correct, I was going to have a whole conversation with you about why that should have been the answer. So I'm glad it was.
If you had told me a very specific access barrier, I might have asked you to question deeper, but you gave me the perfect answer. The Sphinx is over the moon and loves that you answered the riddle correctly. It's amazing. Yes. So the Sphinx is very, very happy with the way you answered that riddle.
Seska like whispers to Deloitte, like, people have barriers to access. Whenever I see a barrier, I just chop it down.
Yes, that.
The Loisy is just excited and is just like clapping for Tizarine, like, yes, you did it. And I think I'm joining in the dance with the diva. I'm dancing with the diva.
So you're
Unrelated, out of character. I 100% have been writing a campaign that's a group of characters going around investigating tombs for access barriers. It's like the environmental safety hazard squad.
I
So the
wanna
Sphinx may have to join that group now.
yeah, I wanna
Incredible.
play with you. That sounds so fun. That sounds so
Incredible.
there's some music happening. You're jamming out. And like maybe 5 minutes passes, and finally, Tesaria's like, y'all, we're supposed to be checking out to see if it's safe and see if there's possibly an exit. I'm enjoying this, but I think we should possibly move on, unless like, do we want to ask the Sphinx any questions? Like, are there any, is there any information we want to try and get from the Sphinx? And the Sphinx is like,
I would like to ask the Sphinx, hello, Sphinx. So are you able to tell us anything about what further awaits us? And also, how are you plated in gold that moves with your body?
well, I'm magic. I'm magic. I'm magic. And if you believe in yourself hard enough, I believe you could be magic too. That's just like what I believe. I'm a Sphinx. And here's the deal. So I've been here for a while. And I am like, I know that the next room has the undead queen. Like Rite of Death is in the next room, y'all, right? I don't want to go there. I do not want to mess with the Rite of Death. I don't want to do that. But this is what I've heard. If you don't kill the queen, you can't get out. Low key, that's why I've been living here. Like, it's a really nice room. I like this. I'm a Sphinx. I can kind of live anywhere. It's been lonely. So it was nice to have you stop by. But I'm not going to go to the next room with you because I don't want to get murdered by Rite Death. But like I said, everybody who I've talked to, they've all said the same thing, which is you can't get out of here unless you kill Rite Death. That's what I've heard.
Well, now we are in a pickle, and I pop a berry in my mouth.
Tizerine or Jen, I think you need to be unmuted.
Yes, I do. Isn't she already dead?
Yeah, riddle me this, Diva. She's already dead. Aren't we done here?
She undead. She undead. Where do you think all these roots be coming from? Like this tomb has stuff happening, and it's not just people coming in, and adventuring and whatnot. Like,
Oh, oh, wait, I have another question. I'm sorry to cut you off.
no, go ahead. I'm just like I'm in my feelings right now, but go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. Uh, were you from the Anoxi Empire?
All right, I'm
Or
not
were you
that
from the
old.
Nodmere?
Yeah, no, no, no. I'm not that old. Oh my god, how old do you think
I
I? I
didn't
mean,
mean
I
to
know I'm
offend.
a sphinx. I'm a
I didn't
sphinx.
know. You said you've been down here a long
Sphinx,
time, and I know this
sphinxes,
tomb.
yeah, sphinxes don't share their age. They don't show their age. But like, I came here like after the Anoxi were gone. I came here after the Nod Mirror been gone for a while. Their forests were all burnt up. And I was coming in here because I was looking for loot, and then I low key got stuck. I decided I like this. People come by. I give them a riddle. Sometimes we hang out for a while. So like, I'm not encouraging you to leave ever. Like if you want to just stay in this room with me for like a while, I'm cool with that. I'm a sphinx. I don't need food. You might suffer. I don't have any snacks. Seems like you've got some berries or something, so good for you. I will not be able to help you if you starve to death. That has happened with past adventurers, and it got a little gnarly. But I can't go shopping. I can't leave this tomb. Yeah.
Can Deloitte see how many bodies are in here? Wait, now that they've said that.
Yeah, you can see that there's like a couple of bones and like a thing of armor. Like somebody was like it looks like somebody passed away in that armor and it's just like lying in the corner, getting a little dusty.
So none of these people wanted to kill the undead queen as well?
Here's the deal. If you go through those doors, nobody has ever come back who's gone through those doors, which is why I am encouraging you to stay here with me forever and just hang out and like, be chill. Now, here's the thing though, unless you go through those doors and kill the undead queen, you're kind of trapped here forever, right? And at least that's the impression I have because I've never left this room. But all the adventurers who have gone through those doors, they either successfully did something and escaped or didn't. I've never seen them again.
So Seska is like really panicked and impassioned by this, and kind of is right on the heels of when the Sphinx ends their dialogue and is like, you know what? I don't care what you say. You're just a magical statue, and I have a full field of crops that are going to ripen soon, and so I need to make it back to my farm. Otherwise, I'm going to miss out on some fabulous stews. And is just really like Seska is triggered right now. Like we gotta go. We gotta go.
Yeah, but we didn't want to kill. I also think we should go, but we didn't want to kill the queen. Or should we have a conversation with her? I don't. The queen seems kind of like a conqueror. There's a lot going on.
I think we ask the Queen for her side of the story. before we make any decisions, because all we've heard is the Anoxi side of the story. And for all we know, it's completely inaccurate.
The Sphinx was listening in and is like, Loki, I agree with you. I think that all sounds very legit. And you should go find your answers. I support you being on that journey. Caesarionic is also feeling very neutral about right or death. Like, is not like, here's the deal. Sometimes you gotta kill a baddie. Sometimes you're in a dungeon and, there's an orc and it's trying to kill you. And, if you could do restorative justice with that orc, you would. But, like, if the orc is not down for that process, you might have to solve your issues with violence. So, Caesarionic has a just very neutral viewpoint on all of this, and would like to get more information. And Tazaria is about the same. It's like, I'd like to find out more. But also, I agree with you that there are stews. There are things that are not in this tomb, and I don't think I want to hang out with this Sphinx forever. I don't think I'm into that.
Seska is like, look, Tisarian and Deloise, you both are much smarter than I am. So when we confront this queen, I will let you both handle the chit chat. But I'm gonna be right next to you as that tank, ready to throw my javelin and slice my great axe.
Seska, you underestimate yourself so much. Either that or I'm also bad with charisma and intelligence. I don't know which. I don't know.
Look, I'm happy to be here and talking to people. That's what I'm here for. The other stuff, that's why we have these lovely people.
The Sphinx plays some music as you all walk out of the space and start to go through
Oh,
the
I
next
like that.
doors.
And I
Oh,
make a note of the tune.
Yeah, because the
before
Sphinx likes your energy and just wants to like give you like some music to send you off.
before we leave the diva, I just want to say, hey, if you wanted to hang out with more people, there's more upstairs. I think they really like your vibe.
The Sphinx, their eyes spark up, they get excited, they look like they're into this idea. And you all start to head through the next set of doors. These doors did not have a secret key. They just let you through them. You did not have to smash through them. You reach an archway, and it leads to a huge dark tree. There are granite blocks poking through the gaps in the gnarled dark trunk. Within the tree, it's hollow, a reminder that this was once a stone tower, but now bark, roots, and branches grow along its entire length, crisscrossing and covering everything. A, a fetid stench of decay and tree sap fills your lungs. Fetid. Ugh. On the floor, opposite you is a massive marble sarcophagus. So there's a big, like coffin-looking thing, and its lid is cracked and broken. And above it, y'all, there is a giant, gaunt humanoid woman floating beside it. Its toes are hovering just a few inches above the ground. Inky black hair kind of floating around their face, framing their grim and translucent face. And then you hear this voice, and you hear the voice inside your head, because and it's a crooning voice that gives you a shiver down your spine, and you hear it inside your head, and it says, "You are not the Anoxi. Who are you?" This is Queen Rider Death. She's communicating telepathically to you in a language that has been lost to time.
I would like to say, I'm Tizarine and hum a little bit of a tune. And in that, I would also like to cast Charm Person, just so that we are all friends for this conversation and for the next hour.
I'm just double checking Queen Rider Death's resistances because I'm like,
So it's a wisdom 15 save.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, let's try it. Rolling my d20. Oh, fail. Rider Death. Rider Death actually is very
I
high.
will
Rider
use
Death.
my heroic. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I can't use it for
Oh,
that.
oh,
But I
oh,
can
oh, no.
use.
No, no, you hit. You hit. I
Oh, okay.
apologize. I was saying that Queen Rider Death failed. Queen Rider Death did not do. They failed their saving throw. They're
Okay.
usually deeply wise, and they like your vibe.
Hello, Majesty. I see you're from the forest. I come from a land that's very much of the forest. And magic, similar, same. Uh, so we're here. We know you've been here for a long time, and we just wanted to sort of have a conversation, find out your side of the story. Lots of rumors flying around. The Anoxi have told their side, and we're not sure that that's the truth. So we wanted to hear what you had to say.
The yellow fog you saw is a force keeping me here, and now it's trapping you all as well.
Mhm.
So Seska has the look of awe on her face, like jaw agape, and just falls to her knees because she has seen her true love. Like she is just in love with Rite of Death. Um, and so, you know, Seska is
I
like,
love
please.
this for her.
Seska is like, please tell me more. Tell me more about your past and who wronged you so I can get vengeance on all of them.
I'll follow. I don't think completely Seska's vibe, but when you bow, I bow. I'm joining it.
Caesarionic and Caesaria both jerk you up, like pull you up from your shoulders. We're like, what are you doing? Like this is a scary monster person.
We're
This is a
showing respect.
ghost. Like, what
We're
are you
showing respect.
doing? Okay.
But she's so pretty. She's so pretty.
A Caesarionic is thinking this and is just like, why? That is what is coming out of Caesarionic's mind. And then you hear Queen Rider's voice saying, I admit, I wielded powerful magic, and I warred against the Anoxi. But the Anoxi massacred my people, the Nodmir, and unjustly imprisoned me here. I aim to replace all foolish mortals with trees. That's what I want to do. I want to replace all the foolish mortals with trees. It would be better that way. My deadly sleep has taught me that the only the natural world should be here, and all creatures should be destroyed.
I understand where you're coming from, and I appreciate that perspective. I don't necessarily agree. I think having conversations and perhaps giving people a chance to learn and change their thought process might be a worthwhile endeavor, um, possibly, rather than just changing people into trees without their consent
I
forever.
normally just murder the people who come visit me. Like I usually kill people very quickly, and I
That's a
felt
shame.
like
You're missing out on wonderful people.
thank you. I appreciate you sharing that with
Yes,
me.
like me. Like me, you're
I
missing
Like
out.
like
Well,
Seska.
Yeah.
I feel like y'all have been just a breath of fresh air. Honestly, I feel like you've been treating me with a lot of respect, and I appreciate this dialogue. So I want to give us some options, right? Because like, yeah, you are trapped here with me because that yellow fog, like that's a thing. But you could join me in doing a ritual. It requires three people, and there's five of y'all. So we need to do a ritual that would set me free from the Anoxi jail. So it would be a freeing ritual, and it would also jailbreak the entire system and you could get out too with me. So I feel like that's an option. Again, full transparency. I usually just in a passionate way, because I do think all mortals should be trees. I often just murder the people immediately. But I would be
Right.
down to do that ritual with you, that would free me and would allow me to turn everybody on planet Earth into a tree.
Mm,
Or you could just stay here forever with me and become trees. I could just turn you into trees right now.
Well,
right.
I like the idea of being here forever now, actually, but I don't like the idea of being turned into a tree. Uh, Tizarine, what do you and Deloise, what do you think about this proposition?
I whisper over to Seska, stand up. No, no, now's not the time. Stand up. We can't do this right now.
I think we should try and find another solution, thinking outside the box, perhaps, because setting you free into a world where you have openly said you plan to essentially murder people uh, as far as you can doesn't seem like it's a responsible use of our power. Um, just to the other however many million people are out in the world. Um, but also, I don't think the way things have been handled for you are fair. So I wonder if there's another solution.
Yeah.
Um, in the songs and stories, have I ever heard of anything like this? Have I heard a fairy tale or a myth or a story of a, an evil person who wanted to go out and murder everyone they came across uh, because of being wronged, having that cycle of violence broken in a way that was equitable in some way.
How
I don't know.
how long is Tizerine's from the is from another world,
The
right?
the Feywild. So time moves differently in the Feywild.
Okay. I
It's
you
built
know
on emotion. So
all right. Okay. Like I recognize that you've already told me that Tizerine doesn't have that book learning. But it feels like that's like a mythical story that they would have
yeah, as a
access to.
bard, that's where I'm trying to come at this.
Yeah, so DM style, you've got a couple of options in this moment. You could be like, you know what? I think it's wrong to turn everybody into trees, and then you could have a fight with Queen Rider Death. You could do that.
Right.
You could be like, you know what? All humanity should be turned into trees, and we want to help you get out of here. Let's do this ritual and help you get out. Let's make this tree dream happen. Or you could attempt to change the queen's mind, which requires a very high roll. And I like the idea. I didn't have anything around it, but see, I like that some of the people in the audience are like, you know what? Trees aren't that bad.
I
Um,
mean, they're not always wrong.
so
And
you
she's
got
not entirely unjustified in her wrath.
Yeah, so Suryonic's like, yeah, low key, I feel you in a gender-based violence kind of a way. Like, I get that this was a patriarchal society that messed you up, but Tazaria's like, yeah, but I don't think your people wanted you to destroy everyone. They weren't happy when you used necromantic magic, and it seems like you escalating the cycle of violence is what ended up getting your entire forest burnt down. So.
It seemed
I
like she let them change her. She let them change her into something that she wouldn't would be ashamed of. And Seska knows this because Seska has that backstory of like running from her town because she didn't like what her town was doing to nature around them and ended up um, getting vengeance on some of the people in her town and ended up just leaving and being on the run ever since.
Queen Riderdeath wants to know more about that story. And Queen Riderdeath has the ability, they're speaking to you telepathically. So if you would like to share that story with them, and I'm just going to say this, Queen Riderdeath has put you in the telepathic group chat so you can all witness this memory. Would you like to share that with us with just a little more detail, Seska?
Yes. So our town was okay, real talk. I did not plan is that a character? I didn't plan too much outside of that. Back in character. So, people in my town, they were on the brink of industrializing. Um they wanted to level the ground around them, use the wood for them, and not do anything sustainably. They drained their ponds of fish. They used their water resources to the brink and drilled new holes in the ground. And so, me being, the empathetic person to nature that I am, decided to go after the people in charge of our village and get revenge on them, um, so that I so that they would stop their practices. However, it did not work. Vengeance was not the answer, and I was shunned from my village and had to go on the run.
Queen Riderdeath is like just having so much empathy with you in this moment. And it's like feeling seen. It's and it's been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years since they have felt like a connection. And they're like, wow, like I feel that story. That's real. That's so real. Based
But do you still want to turn everyone into trees?
Yeah. So I still think I should turn everybody into tree. Like I appreciate the complexity of that story, and I empathize with it really hard, and that's why I think you should do this ritual with me, and we should turn everybody into trees. It's actually a very easy ritual. Um, and I like again, I feel like you get it. You get it, Seska. And perhaps we could do this ritual. I don't know if your friends would be into it, but and you can see Caesariana going like, no.
I like take a half step forward. Maybe Deloise, you're like, girl, no.
The lazy goes, is there any way for you to reconsider, Miss Diva Tree Queen, ma'am? And bows.
Queen Riderdeath appreciates your performance of fealty and respect and is unmoved, still wants to turn everybody into a tree. Here's the deal. You're going to have to try to persuade them to not turn people into trees. So I would, well, let's see if we have any more play going on
I
here.
would really love to try and persuade.
Big roll from Tizarine coming in chat. We
This
need
is
we
this
need
is what I do.
energy.
This is what I do. Now, you see, as you've heard, it's gone very badly for Seska, and Seska is here imploring you not to turn people into trees. And Deloise has also told you why it's not a solid plan. So you have a number of us here saying, hey, the world has changed in the time you've been down here. Perhaps turning everyone into trees is not the way we do things now. There are other diplomatic processes we can follow. Community-based restorative justice, conversations with other people. Also, the entire empire that locked you in here doesn't exist anymore. So if that's not justice, don't know what is. And I'm kind of checking in to see where she is.
Her reactions are still all, she's just reacting like,
If this makes a difference, this is 100% what this character is built to do is persuasion.
what is your,
And she's charmed by me right now,
yes,
too.
yes, fully charmed by you.
So
I would love for you, to roll. I'm trying to figure out like how to do this because I'm
a
like, oh,
persuasion roll.
yeah, when you do a persuasion roll, and I'm like, yeah, I'm already like, I
So
was already
that's a
charmed by.
28, and I can throw a bardic inspiration on there if you need it to be bigger than that.
Do it,
Roll
do
it.
it, do it.
Okay.
Is
I
there
can
anything
throw a
anybody
D8
else can
on
do to
there.
try and make this more convincing?
Wait, Tizarine, after you do that, if you could read the Maya Scott put a lovely like bardic poem in the
Yes.
chat. If you could
Yes,
read it
yes,
out.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I don't have
Um,
anything to add to that, unfortunately. I'm not sure what would be
hmm.
helpful.
Trees. Nothing wrong with branching out, but living as a tree might be a truncated lifestyle, and the temptation to bow out is rooted in a desire to come and leave at will. So, not such a tremendous idea, says this humble villager. It's so good. So good.
I
So right now
also
we are
cannot
at a
help.
29.
Oh,
What would help? What would I like? What would someone be able to do to add on to that?
Um, guidance. If anyone has the spell guidance, we could add that onto this. Um, let me see here.
Yeah, I'm looking up. I'm like, what does
I
sanctuary
mean,
do?
a 29 is basically it's almost impossible to get that roll to begin with.
It is. It's very
Like a
true.
15 is already a high DC for most stuff at this level.
I'm being a little
So
silly in this moment. I'm just like, can we make
yeah,
it
no, I
even
I
more?
I buy it. This is a really this is a we're avoiding a boss fight
Yeah, and
with conversation.
yeah, I'm
So
amazed. I did not prepare for this at all. I prepared for an epic
I
battle.
did you
I
roll with advantage? Because I can
I
always
didn't
throw
roll
down a
with
help
advantage.
action.
I'll take it. Okay, let's
Yes,
see. With advantage,
yes.
that's not as good. So the 18 on the dice was better, so the 28 was better.
She doesn't really appreciate the Miss Ma'am Tree Queen and Diva line as much as everything else.
Let me see my spells and see if there's anything else I can put on here.
Am I able to help, or is that something only Deloise's character?
It depends on what your sheet says.
I
Yeah.
can only use one help action at a
Oh yeah.
time.
I don't think I have that. Okay.
And you can't stack the rerolls unless I want to use my heroic inspiration, but then I'll have to use whatever that roll is.
Yeah.
And an 18, there's only two numbers higher on the dice that I could possibly get.
Yeah.
So the odds of getting higher than a 29, it's almost impossible at this point,
Yeah.
like mathematically.
Yeah, I think that we have got you stacked as big as we're gonna have you stacked. So Queen Rider Death now needs to do a wisdom saving throw. Um, y'all, I have this
So I'm a
amazing
wisdom 15 save typically for me.
okay. And
But if I'm rolling against it, it might be something else because it's a 30 or a 29 versus.
I'm like, oh, okay, so I might use a legendary action to resist this incredibly convincing argument. Let me roll.
Actually, if that's what it's looking like is gonna happen, I can throw one other thing out there.
So I failed so Queen Rider Death like looks like they're about to be convinced by you, and then it's like, you know what? No, no, no. And thinks about it again. Yeah, and they are so yeah, they seemed like they were convinced by you, and then they used their legendary resistance,
Okay.
and were able to roll again.
All right, then I will counter that again by using a suggestion. The suggestion spell, which is a Wisdom 15 save.
Okay. Oh, wait, 13. Wait, what is, you said it's a wisdom what?
It's a Wisdom 15 save.
Queen Ride of Death is really good. Queen Ride of Death
Okay.
rolled a 13 and has a +2 on their wisdom. So they got 15.
Okay, so they're 15. They still will can they're gonna have to face off with my persuasion again.
Yep.
So I will continue.
So you made more arguments, and she was like, "Well, maybe, but you know what? Actually, like you made really good arguments, but what if everyone was turned into trees though?"
I think I
Then
at
you'd have
this
no one to talk to. And if you thought it was dull being down here, how dull do you think it will be when there's no one else left? And all that's left for you are trees. Then what are you going to do with your days?
Just did my final roll. So the rolls that I did were so I rolled a 10, which was like, oh, I'm convinced by you, but then I used a legendary action to get out of it. And then I
Right.
rolled a 19 and I was not convinced. But then you kept arguing and making good points. And then I was like, but trees, and then I just rolled a 9.
No trees. Trees are not
So
great
so
conversational partners.
so what I'm hearing from you is that if
I'm
I
back.
turned every single person into a tree, that would not be positive for humanity because there would be no more humanity because they would all be trees.
Right, and we already have more trees than people. So if your goal is to be in the company of trees, that's completely doable.
All right. We still need to do this ritual to get out of here because we're all trapped inside this building and we cannot get out unless we do this ritual. But you have now convinced me. So if we do this ritual together to break the spell, I'm not gonna turn everybody into trees, or at least, yeah. I'm not gonna turn
And
everybody
not
into
oh
trees.
not okay. How about we stop not turning anyone into trees unless they directly wrong you in a very serious way and no mediation is successful.
Okay, I think
Fair?
that sounds fair. That sounds fair.
Fair.
I will
Excellent.
join you on your quest of vengeance. Ride of death.
Excellent, excellent. All right, it's
Ride
time
or
for
die
us.
for ride or death.
Yes.
Yes, it's time to do a ritual, y'all. This
Excellent.
ritual requires us all to roll a d20.
before we start the ritual, can I try to read Ride or Death to be like,
Oh
are
yeah,
you just
yeah.
saying this to get out of here, or are we
I think that's a
are we
really smart thing to do. Go ahead and roll perception.
could I roll insight?
Oh, I mean insight. Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna use the Bardic on this as well,
Nice.
because yeah. All right. I rolled a 1 on the Bardic. So what did I get? 16.
That actually that okay. So you can tell that Rite of Death is it has been moved by Seska's story and experiences, by Tizerine's really well thought out logical points about not turning everybody into trees. And I mean, here's the deal. Right to death might turn some people into trees. Like that might happen in the future. Like no promises that nobody's going to get turned into a tree. But from this really beautiful exchange, right to death is like, I'm not going to just turn everyone into trees. I'm not going to randomly turn into trees. And I like the idea of like trying to have like mediation, a conversation before I turn people into trees. So you have the insight that right or death means what they're saying, but also will probably turn somebody into a tree sometime in the future.
That's so acceptable to Deloitte. And, crossbow, because
Mm.
Deloitte would have been sad if they needed to start blasting. So there's just a crossbow down, hands in circle, ready to go.
That is amazing. All right, friends, let's roll a d20 to do this final ritual. The ritual actually included you learning a bunch of moves, and there was like hand movements and all kinds of things y'all did. Um, what'd y'all roll?
Are we adding anything to this? Or is there a skill we're using?
Nope, just straight d20.
I got 14.
Got a 14,
15.
15. Okay, nice.
Natural 20. Hey.
Oh,
Hey.
that is so good because Tazaria rolled a 6, and I was like, oh no. All right, one of y'all rolled a natural 20. So so you're doing the ritual. The ritual includes you doing some movements that low key. It's a little like the dancing that you were doing with the Sphinx, a little bit. Some of these movements are the same, and there's like lights that go in the room, and you're doing it. And Tazaria flubs it up at first, and then it looks like the spell isn't going to work. But then Deloitte comes in for the win and is just like moving and grooving like they were born to do magic spells, which is like not what they were born to do actually at all. But like this is a natural 20 action, and there's a huge beautiful light, and the structure shakes, and now suddenly, poof! You're all in that big room again. That main room with the door to the outside and the hole in the wall. And Sphinxy is there. The Sphinx is there, and the Sphinx is like, yeah, is cutting it up with Cassios. They're actually having a really good time. Low key, y'all were suffering and we're about to have a huge fight, and they were just having like a really fun party. And like, was Cassios even thinking about y'all? The Sphinx, very distracting. You all emerge into this room. Um, Cassios is so grateful and is like, triple pay, my friends, because if we had gotten stuck in here, that's the end of my career. It's very hard to barter around when you're trapped in a tomb. So Cassios is very happy to give you triple pay. Um, Rider Death, at the end of this ritual, Rider Death disappears. And you don't see, there's like a bright flashlight, and then Rider Death is just gone. And you're like, what happened to
Oh,
Rider Death?
poor Seska.
Seska falls to her knees in agony this time.
And that's when you hear a voice whispering in your ear. I'm still here. And you feel a cold shiver and a comfort. So the queen of the undead tree queen, she's inside you, Seska. She's with you. She's with you.
She's with me always. That's so romantic. I just
Mm.
say to Deloitte and to Tizarine, like, I know I fall for a lot of people who are red flags, but thank you for
Are there any
supporting.
sort of like
Thank you for
we're
supporting
trying
me
to have a
regardless.
moral standpoint?
No, please go ahead, Deloitte.
Anytime, Seska. I'm glad that you found somebody that you like and that will be with you.
Sir
I
Sariana,
think Seska needs a level of druid next.
This
I
is the goal.
Or warlock. But
I, I
Yeah.
love a one shot, but I want to continue on the adventures with you, and I
sorry.
want to know what happens with Seska and Queen Death, right? But alas, our adventure is coming to a close. So Cassios has given you extra pay. The morning, the sun's coming out. You're packing up your stuff. You're getting ready to go. The Sphinx and Cassios have been hitting it off, and the Sphinx decides to go with you. So the Sphinx, and here's the great thing: the Sphinx is gigantic, but it turns out it can shrink itself into a little tiny statue. So it's a little statue, little tiny little statue Sphinxy. And Cassios is like, "You're my new best friend, and you're with us for the rest of this adventure." Any final thoughts or observations as our adventure comes to a close?
Well, Seska is like, I'm not traveling in the same car as all of you with the Sphinx. Okay, no, no, no. I have my limits.
I think Deloitte had a great time on this adventure, danced, met a diva, helped to convince Goddess not to turn everybody into trees, and got triple pay for it. Didn't only have to fight a gargoyle. It's great working here, you know. So the Deloitte is ready for more adventures, and you know, excited for what's next.
Yeah, Tizarene writes a few new songs, builds a few new performances based around the long tale of Queen Ride Death, Ride or Die for Queen Ride Death, um, and starts composing a love ballad for Seska and the Queen, um, which I can't come up with a name for fast enough to be clever. So, but it's something very clever that Tizarene ends up coming up with and plays it across the lands and back into the Feywild, where we can go on an adventure next, perhaps.
And with the sounds of that beautiful ballad about trees and restorative justice and possibly violence and turning everybody into trees. It's a complicated song. As that song is playing, you see the wagons go down the road into the distance. Thank you so much for allowing me to DM this game. I just want to do a shout out for the cool systems that I honestly did not use that much because I didn't have you fighting a whole lot. So many of our characters had disabilities, and that's actually part of the D&D math. So it's like, oh, this character gets to do this move, but I have to give them a modifier of -2 because they have Ehlers-Danlos. The Sphinx was ready to fight, y'all, but you never. I just want to do a shout out for this, for the non-violence of your resolutions. And even though I did prepare for Queen Rider Death to fight the heck out of y'all, I like this ending a lot more. So just thank you for joining me on this adventure and for making an awesome story. And thanks for everybody in the audience for participating and saying cool stuff. And yeah, bards really help us not to have to fight. I love that.
Yeah, no, I want to say now this is Shaina, the Disability Cultural Center, Shaina speaking. But I want to give a huge shout out to our interpreters for keeping up with us the entire time. I know there are so many, the terminology can be so complex and nuanced, and we appreciate you lending your talents tonight for us. Um, and I want to give a huge shout out to Jen and Rye. Thank you so much for playing with us this evening and just being amazing, co-conspirators in this and being down for anything. In particular, thank you for being good wing people to Seska. I appreciate that so much. And Jen or Rye, if you have any socials that you want to plug or any websites that you want to plug, feel free to do so into the chat. And Claudia, thank you for giving us one of the most iconic characters I think a lot of us will ever experience in a Dungeons and Dragons playthrough. And thank you for carrying us through this journey, for guiding us, for keeping us entertained. You truly are magnificent. And Alex, I see you over there snapping. Alex Locust stepped in to help me out on the back end with this. So he has been watching over us, making sure things run smoothly. So big shout out to everybody who made this happen today. Hopefully we can do more in the future. And yeah, thank you everyone.
Um,
Claudia?
is there a thing you want us to fill out to give you opinions about the experience we've had, or you're making movements? So did I ask a good question?
You asked a great question, Claudia. Yes, there will be a survey that we send out into an email. We also have a Discord group, which I will also send in a follow-up email. So in the past, people have used our Discord group to create their own teams of people to play D&D with. So that's a great way to stay involved. And again, just thank you. This was our first one, so we'd love all the feedback you are willing to give once we do send that survey link out to folks. And Claudia, one thing Claudia did, which was incredible, is to tie in the audience participation into this. So I thought that was a really nice touch. So yeah, thank you again, everybody. And I hope you all have a lovely, cozy weekend.